Hello and welcome back to the letter, and we're still in the conversation of Zach telling Isabel about his parents being killed. I would assume in a robbery? I would assume. So she seems relieved at the brisk change of subject, and as if it has been simply waiting for its cue all this time, stomach. Oh yeah, and they're going to go get food now because their stomach rumbled. Rather loudly, as a matter of fact.
Alrighty, Missy. We're going to get some chow now. Better be quick, though. Can't have your stomach starting a revolution on us here.
Don't make fun of me. I'm not that hungry. Maybe a little. I didn't think I'd end up skipping dinner last night.
And now we have one starved stomach protesting. Sorry, it'll be nothing fancy, since I'm a little low on stocks. I should probably drop by the grocery store after the meeting this afternoon.
I can make a quick run for you if you want.
Nah, I've got enough to put together something nice here. Maybe. I could always improvise if we're missing an ingredient or two. It ain't like we're going for a Michelin 3-star status here. Also, didn't I say you're a guest? Is this a Filipino thing? Or just Rebecca rubbing off on you?
The soft laughter that comes from her doesn't quite reach her eyes. Neither the answer is neither. Because if she stays idle, she'll remember.
On second thought, I might need a little help slicing up the potatoes while I prep the ham. You up for that?
What? Do you think instant noodles are all I'm about? I'll have you know, I can cook a mean paella with my eyes closed. All my siblings love it.
Sure you can. Come on. I think I know what we'll do with those spare ingredients.
Spare ingredients? Okay. Despite the massive effort to keep the mood goddamn. So now it's them cook. Oh no, it's the pills. Okay. Like, it's interesting to know that certain events will probably change that image, I would assume. Anyway, despite the massive effort to keep the mood light with small chatter, cooking ends up being a mostly quiet affair. Between us, the constant clapping of the knife against the board and the muffled noise from the television I'm left running, words have become surprisingly difficult to string together. And at some point, Ash is supposed to come in. Not entirely unusual. We've had moments like this before, but definitely unnerving with how things are now. I really wish someone else will come knocking at the door. Pleasant as this is, breaking the ice or keeping the conversation going, it's never been a forte that has always been Isabella's. Oh, it's never been my forte. Whoops! I suck at speaking today. Or reading, I suppose. Anyways, that has always been Isabella's or Rebecca's department. Sometimes Ash's, although most coming from him, border on awkward or embarrassing. Speaking of the guy, he never did call back, and I'm willing to bet my entire yearly salary that he fell right back to sleep after that call. Nope.
Sorry, Bella. Could you...
Yep, I got it. The potatoes are almost ready, by the way. I turned down the heat just in case. You might want to check on them, though. Hold on, I'll be right there. Sheesh, wait up. If you keep rapping at the door like that, you'll break it down. Ash.
Oh, good. You're awake.
Nope. Okay, there we go. That was weird. I'm like, does that mean we're going to take Bella's place even though we're in Zachary's story? Ash has already welcomed himself in when I take my eyes away from the oven. He's never been really keen with the notion of courteous after he's warmed up to you, this guy. All 13 of my locks he broke can attest to that. What? He's a good fella though. Maybe a tad bit standoffish at first glance, but he's trustworthy.
Don't you have work today?
I could ask the same of you. Hey, Izzy, man.
You're late. Something came up? You need to drop the Z-Man. It's getting old.
Sorry, I got caught up with something at the precinct on the way here. Had to attend to that first before things got out of hand. I'd tell you about it, but you know how it can be with those kinds of things. Later, maybe.
Okay.
You're here
Ash?
because...
What? I'm not allowed to say hello?
I doubt you're here because of that. And you're not answering my question.
Ah, my bad. Forgot to mention that. Jackie called earlier looking for you. Rebecca's worried because you didn't come home last night.
You could have called my cell instead.
You weren't picking up. Anyway, I'd really hate to cut this little get-together short, but I need to be somewhere else. Come on, Isabella, let's get you home. I'll drop you off on the way.
Wait, we're going now?
He lightly claps a hand on her arm and begins ushering her out of the apartment, throwing a casual wave at me as they pass. Isabella, on the other hand, doesn't appear too fond of the idea. Sure enough, before they can even cross the threshold, she puts a firm foot down, forces alone enough to halt them both and catch the taller man off guard. It would have made for a funny picture. The way Ash almost crashes into her and Isabella giving him an ingredient pout over her shoulder. Surprise and confusion are in his face all at once. Do things that rarely even grace it if he can help it. And for a moment, even for our small group. If only I have my camera with me, dang.
What is it?
Zach cooked something.
If it's just food, I'll get you something on the way back.
But the food! It's Zach's cooking! Real delicious food that actually tastes like food. At least stay and have a bite, please. Zach, help me here.
Do I actually have to choose a side? These two, whenever they're in the same room, sometimes it feels like hurting a group of unruly kids instead of talking to two mature adults. One moment they're engaged in pleasant chit-chat, and the next they're bickering over a minor issue. Frankly, if I don't know any better, I have an overreactive imagination. I'd say there's something going on. Never mind how utterly impossible that idea is, or it might just be me reading too much into things like always. I can already hear Ash's laughter if I so much as suggest such. Does, however, I kicked off a feast?
I don't know about you two, but I think you guys should really stay. I've already made enough food for all of us, and it'd be a waste.
Yay? Wait, what? I guess that slightly helped Ashton. Sometimes these choices makes me wonder if there really is a siding factor, or it's just you either benefit everyone in the group somehow, or just flat out make everyone hate you. But damn, Isabel and Zach are really good friends. Because I'm surprised how easily that got maxed out. Though that doesn't mean it's permanently there, because I can do fuck things up. But yeah, it's interesting. Don't know why Ash got slightly okay with that choice, but whatever.
Why, I cooked up that special honey glazed ham you two keep on yapping about. Got some scalloped potatoes with onions and cheddar to go with it, too.
I've been timing dings. Okay. That sounded like a light bulb turning on as like an idea. It's like, ding! I have an idea. I shoot the two of them an apologetic look before sauntering over the kitchen, mittens in hand. The sweet smell of the glaze and salty tang of melted cheese wafts through the air as soon as I open the door and take out the two trays inside. The scent immediately fills the entire room, and even with the door and windows open, mouth-watering aroma lingers. It's appealing enough that when I put the dishes down on the counter, another starved stomach protest, loudly followed by a burst of laughter. My head snaps up at the two of them, and I keep them back with a smile, the sight that they make. Isabel's clinging to the door frame for support, doubled over the breathless laughter. Ash is the more composed of the two, trying to look unconcerned, but flush has crept up his neck and cheeks. It's clear whose stomach that came from, and Isabel's not going to let him live this down.
You're in no place to reject an offer of free food, Frey.
Frey?
I wasn't rejecting anything. Damn it, I just missed a meal, that's all.
Ah, sure, Ash, sure.
Aw, he's flustered.
Shut it! Those guys at the precinct said it was urgent. Somebody has to be responsible for it.
Well, aren't you precious?
Right. You know, if you keep laughing like that, you'll burst.
I'm sure it won't be as bad as your stomach suddenly rumbling like a starved.
Aight, kiddos, play nice. Food's gonna get cold if we keep this up. Ash, you gonna stay?
Might as well, since Scaredy Cat's so hell-bent on staying.
There we go. Ah, yes, there we go. That's nice. And that looks very delicious. Holy shit. Now I'm hungry for food. We eventually settled down after the food has been served. The jibbe is replaced by another round friendly chatter. What? Jibbe? I don't. What? Jibbe? Jibbis? Jilebis? I have no clue. Replaced by another round of friendly chat. Mostly about what's on the news the night before. Isn't that bad? There is, however, constant effort to avoid mentioning what's currently on the headlines. Okay. The dead is never a good topic to talk over food and polite company. This case in particular. The wounds are too fresh too soon. I'd likely avoid it as well if I were in her position. Someone I personally know passed away in a gruesome manner like that. Though perhaps the closets we got to broaching the topic is when the infamous mansion is brought up again. But even then, we are careful, Ash and I. Keep the conversation light and avoid bringing up her late business partner. It's the least we could do.
The Wrights? Yeah, they're planning to move in soon. In fact, they already have a housewarming party planned. It's why they wanted us to rush the papers. They wanted to send the invitations out as soon as possible.
Oh, that's right. That's why she went off to doing more work. Right. I forgot that they mentioned the part beforehand to Isabel.
Oh, now I get it.
Get what?
Remember what I told you last night about the new clients?
Vaguely? Sorry. I was a little out of it yesterday. Was it the photo shoot?
Yep. It's actually for the one you sold. Something.
Ermengarde.
When you put it that way, I suppose it makes sense why my boss wants me to prioritize the couple. They can have those documents rushed at just a snap of their fingers. Then they're more influential than I initially thought. Man, I guess my boss is expecting a lot more from this project than I expected. Hope I can live up to it.
Your photographs are more than good enough, Zach. You'd probably win an international award if you let yourself.
Well, we've never really seen his photos, but okay.
Ma'am Hana's easy to please, too. As long as you're good at following instructions.
Easier said than done. Different clients have different tastes, after all.
Still, a week? I don't think that's possible.
A week?
Now that you mentioned it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted everything finished at the earliest.
Within a week, so is that going to be possible for him?
To be honest, it's not unheard of, but...
But it's still weird.
Oh, fishy, I see.
Still weird, yeah?
Slip of the tongue. Still barely noticeable to someone who's already familiar with Ash's ways. Yet in this moment, it's impossible to miss. I shoot him a curious glance, but he ignores it. Rather pointedly.
I can't exactly say it's like that, where I'm just the middleman after all. As much as I want to comment on it, I only know what's on the surface, not the in and outs. It's just that BRC and my boss are more hands-on with the legal stuff this time, despite having a separate department dedicated to it.
Maybe Mr. Wright helped with it too. They have their own legal team for this, don't they?
Well, they should have one, especially for a big property like this.
I'm pretty sure they did. I believe they've mentioned that they had a bunch of people preparing for the house.
They have, but like I said, it's off our hands. Rose and I don't handle this stuff in the office. If anything, to me, this just means I'll be able to send the rest of the funds to Papa's treatment earlier.
I guess that makes a whole lot of sense. Officially off our instant noodle diet, aren't we?
Ash, has anyone ever told you that you have an uncanny way of ruining the mood?
What? I was just saying. A few more months of stuffing your face with those, and I'm sure you'll start to look like a noodle cup. That's a pretty picture.
Is it?
At least I don't live off convenience store food. Or make poor, unassuming pressure cookers explode.
Okay.
What? How did you... Come on, Zach.
Sorry, it just came up while we were cooking earlier.
I'm impressed, Ashton Frey. You even made it to the news.
A one-time thing. And it wasn't as big as you seem to be imagining.
Oh, sure. Let's all pretend that one time you almost set my apartment on fire didn't happen too.
He is a terrible cook, isn't he?
Hey, that was an accident.
Okay.
You were making a salad, Ash.
What? How do you cause a fire making a salad? What? I know there's such thing as a terrible cook, but I didn't think you could be that terrible. Oh my god.
Can we please move on to a different topic?
It helps the casual talk, the harmless teasing. The mundane story is interesting enough to let the time pass unnoticed. By the time lunch ends, the shadows are no longer at forefront of my mind. If it's the same for Isabelle, for whatever troubles her, I can never tell. These things, the anxiety, the fear, they ain't easily seen, ain't easily forgotten after all.
You go on ahead. I've got a few things I need to ask Zach. I'll be downstairs in a minute.
Confusion briefly flashes in her eyes as she catches the keys he tosses over, but doesn't give her an answer and waves for her to go ahead.
How sure are you I won't be driving away with your Shirley?
You don't even have a license. Do you even know how to?
Papa taught me how. I'm probably a better driver than you.
But you don't have your license, so it'd still be bad. I'm just saying, Bella.
See you later, Zach. Thanks for the food.
Always has to have the last word, don't you?
You're welcome. I'll send you the recipe for the potatoes tonight.
Grin is back on her face when she leaves and closes the door behind her. For a little while after we've left alone, Ash goes wholly quiet, sitting waiting for her remaining footsteps all to fade. Earlier amusement is gone from his face, replaced by what I can only describe as trepidation? I know that look all too well. When he's like this, he's expecting shit about to go down at some point.
That wasn't very nice, Ash. What was that with Isabella earlier? You're usually subtler with your questions.
They hired you.
Huh?
Hired me who? Don't change the subject yet. What's really going on here?
The Wrights. Luke and Hannah Wright. You said your next gig is with them.
Is that what this is all about?
Just be careful around them. You have no idea what you're dealing with when it comes to that couple.
What is going on? Ash knows something that we don't.
I'd rather you stay as far away from them as possible, but you're already here. Isabella's their real estate agent. Seriously, of all the people in Luxburn.
Okay. I guess I'll just have to take your word for it.
He nods, claps the comforting hand on my back, and turns to leave without another word. He's never been good with those. More often, he fumbles with what he wants to say, but his actions alone are enough to tell me how grateful he is for the trust. He reaches for the knob as soon as he gets to the door, but doesn't turn it. Instead, he looks back and gestures with his head towards the table. I don't need to follow his line of sight to know what he's going to ask about. He's likely taken notice of it the moment he entered the room.
You back on those? I haven't seen you taking them in a year.
Yeah, I kinda had to. It got worse after the film fest. The dreams, that is. I don't think I'll be doing that again anytime soon.
Heard about that. Don't drop it, though. You don't want Becca scolding you. She actually enjoyed the movie you made, and she's hard to please. Consider that a small victory.
You don't have to tell me. She already did.
Yep.
Rebecca and Bella both gave me an earful after I said the opposite. Promised them I wouldn't, but you can never tell. Hopefully, once I feel better, I'll be able to think about it properly. Speaking of Bella, she didn't open up to me, but maybe with you and Rebecca.
With how they've been, I highly doubt it's gonna go well.
Yeah, I'll try. I can't promise anything, but I'll talk to her.
Thanks. That's all I'm asking.
This time when he reaches for the door, he lets it close fully behind him without glancing back. A mild draft sweeps into the room as I close the door behind him, slightly disturbing the papers on the nearby fridge. A lone note flutters by my feet. The letters on the surface glare at me with Mute intensity. Ermengarde Mansion, right? 11 a.m. for luxury living. And then we got updates. Ah, the food. Okay. After Ashton's warning, they all hold a different meaning now. So if anything... Is he humming to music's theme? Just a bit uncomfortable for me. So 27th? Wait. It fucking is humming to the music! Because of that one cue moment. So... if it actually did say the 27th, then he's seen the ghost now. So the next 2 days rush by in a blur altogether, leaving a collective mess of work suddenly piling up, and new unexpected acquaintances or friends? Jesus Christ. You're not helping, Zach. It's creepy. At least in that version of humming. Depends on how you look at it, really. Either way, I'm stuck developing with these foes at 3 in the morning to reach a deadline set by an over-eager art director. Don't get me wrong, Julius is good, has a vision, and knows what he wants, but damn, he could be too enthusiastic sometimes.
Doesn't matter when you couldn't sleep anyway.
There's nothing new in it, of course. After years of working as a freelance photographer, it's simply something I've grown used to. Get to know people, build a client base, do good work, cash in some late hours if need be, rinse and repeat. It certainly takes a while to get some footing on the field, but it's the kind of thing that pays off. In the long run, as long as you keep at it. Give it enough time, you might end up with big names on your client list. Names like the Wrights in particular. I never did pay much attention to them, but it's virtually impossible not to hear about them. The local news channel or paper have something to say on their name. Party here, an accusation there. Sometimes it's a new business venture. Other times it's everyday gossip that typically follows popular people like them. Not in a million years did I ever imagine I would end up working for such a high-profile couple. And between that and the fuss that comes with it leaves me no time to ponder over whatever happened to Isabel or why Ash is so adamant why keep away from the pair. Alright, everyone, what I was gonna say. So if anything, we need to keep stay away from Luke out of everybody. Because Hannah doesn't seem like someone to be a problem with in particular, especially because she's friendly with Zach. So Luke is the main issue. And it will explain what he might be doing late at night when not attending parties. So Luke is definitely a potential problem. Okay.
You do seem like the good folk, though, despite the whole fame thing.
Sure, there was a rumor running around years ago about him being involved in some business scandal. But just like every gossip blown out of proportion by the media, nothing came of it. Eventually, it simply died down. Much is definitely left to be said for the husband, but I doubt a woman like Miss Wright would pick him if he doesn't have any good points at all. Miss Wright, Hannah herself, though. She ain't particularly bad the way the press makes her out to be. Tabloids had it all wrong, that's for sure. For someone born with a silver spoon in her mouth, well, she ain't exactly what I was expecting. Among other things, the newfound friendship is what I least expected from her, but here we are. Although with a life as public as the Wrights, no wonder it's the woman who often gets the crappy end of the stick. I can't help but feel sorry for her. She's a real nice person when given the chance. Heck, she might have ended up friends with Rebecca and Isabel too, if they weren't living worlds apart. Probably. beep quickly pulls me back before my thoughts travel any further. In one practiced motion, I carefully place the wet print I'm holding on a drying rack and amble over my makeshift darkroom to get the last photos from the water bath. Inside the converted broom closet, the film processor lets out another soft clack before going on its standby mode. At its mouth, a lone photograph sits on the tray, barely visible with the lack of light. I have a feeling this is gonna go. It's the last one tonight for the set Miss Wright requested. Don't usually make this a habit, giving away stuff that is. It's bad for business, no matter how well intentioned or generous you are. This exception, however, she did treat me well and was a pleasant companion all throughout the shoot. Even if she didn't ask, I would have probably given her a few prints just for the hell of it. Miss Wright ain't such a bad subject matter to begin with. Maybe this is just me, but for someone who has everything at the palm of her hands, all the money in the world, a loving husband, and that part's bail, and a plenty big mansion to call home, she's lonely. She doesn't just appear like it. It shows in the tone of her voice. She moves, and most certainly in her smiles, always hidden behind the clamor for the world to never see. Sometimes for people like her, small things like this helps. A little reminder that the world can be kind too. Water drips from the paper as I blindly pick it up, gently lay it on another tray holding a decent amount of photo flow. A few seconds under solution is all it's need before it's ready for drying. No good rushing this last one, even if my body's already screaming for some decent snooze. My hand fumbles for the light switch, moving towards it, finally familiarity, while I fish for a squiggy among the mess of tools on a drawer with the other. The bulb flickers twice before slow settles and casts a soft light in this tiny space. When I glance back down, squibgy in hand, ready to finish the process, and finally call it a night.
What on earth?
Okay, I would imagine that was the photo with the ghost touching her face and she didn't notice. Blurred and distorted beyond recognition, rather. The area completely smudged over, leaving no trace of the same sweet smile. The good woman carried it in all the previous prints.
Damn, that was too careless.
Common mistake to make, of course. If one is I can't speak. If one is negligent enough, there we go. Holy shit, I'm having trouble reading. Words. Negligent enough to pick a newly processed photo in the dark like I apparently did. It has happened before, loads of times actually, but I still can't help but feel a small pang of frustration over one mistake a newbie would likely make. With a sigh, I reach up for a switch again, intending to develop a new one from scratch.
It could pass off for one of those supernatural pictures they show on TV, though.
Maybe. Memory collects one one cursory thought, the sea of many, in a short yet distinct second from the day before. Glimpse is all I got, but it's enough to burn the image in my mind. There was a shadow. Am I supposed to do something? I'm gonna be ready for it. No, a woman. In her 20s or early 30s, maybe? But with how far gone her flesh alone has become, it's not possible to tell at first glance. Skin itself has already taken a sickly pale color, rotted in most parts, blood dripping from every open gash and lesson on her body. bony hands grips Miss Fright's neck, and she's twitching too. What the hell? Miss Fright's neck loose like a noose, staining the skin underneath with a vibrant shade of scarlet. Nothing but malice fills the gleam in her eyes.
Zachary?
Not for me. For Miss Fright.
Zach? Is something the matter?
Someone's touching her face, that's what.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
Oh, because he still saw it. Oh. We may have slightly saw it gone with her, but it was still there the whole time. Memory alone is enough to make me retch. I brushed it off then. The trick of the eye, I told myself, were a product of the heat. Weather has been unexpectedly warm recently, so it shouldn't be too surprising for such things to happen. And while blaming the sun, the usual fatigue, an overworked brain, the weather, or an amateur error on my part is far more convenient. It makes a whole lot of sense than what the small voice inside my head whispers. Same tiny voice that only makes itself known when something's afoul. Same one that lent a curious ear to Isabel's worries about the match. And with each second I spend staring at this photograph, the murmurs in my head only grow louder against my ears. Someone has to know. Oh shit. I don't know. Zachary. Yeah. Because I forgot I was saving on second page. Oh no, so... I don't know how Hannah will react, and even then there's Luke that's a problem. If we show Ash, he might just lay it off as just convenience. Because Hannah's seen... Yeah, because by the time we go to Hannah, she's already seen something already off. Oh no. Because I don't know what to think of Ash, because he seems to be the kind of person not care about a ghost and all, nor even if it's right in front of him. Hannah, on the other hand, already seen the ghost by the time we probably get to her, because it's the day before she saw the ghost. I don't know. I don't know how I'm incorrect. Actually, oh shit, okay. It's actually about the time I should stop recording, actually. So that's convenient. So if you guys enjoyed the video, give the like or up a button. If you want to see more, see what will happen next, of what choice I'll make, go to the subscribe or follow button to be notified. Got anything to say in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Comrades?
Ooh.